What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Remote Front Office. We are going to be covering the Sacramento Kings offseason today. But before we get into that, as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell on. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays around here. We are still chugging through these off seasons. But hopefully once we get more of a full schedule release, we'll start to do more of an in-depth dive on those over-unders. Hopefully we get the tournament schedule and we kind of figure that out. Obviously we won't know seeding and stuff, but we'll know the regular season portion of it. We can kind of go over how that's all going to go. But today, we are covering, as I said earlier, the Sacramento Kings. Had a very good season by Sacramento standards, obviously. Hadn't been to the playoffs in what felt like an eternity. Made the playoffs. Had a respectable series against Golden State. I think that's all we could ask for. I understand pretty much everybody picked Golden State because Sacramento hadn't been in the playoffs yet. But the fact they took them to 7, it was a very respectable series. And now that we have expectations for Sacramento, I'm curious to see what they do to build on those. But let's cover first the losses for Sacramento this free agency. So Terrence Davis has not been signed anywhere yet. Kind of not surprised by that, just based on who they all brought in. Kind of feel like that there's no minutes left for Terrence at this point. Matthew Dellavedova, also a free agent. I don't think he gets signed anywhere. Didn't really have any significant playing time. I think he's just kind of at the end of his career at this point, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. If he doesn't get picked up, if he retires, would not surprise me. PJ Dozier also is a free agent. He had gotten waived just to create that roster space. I'm not surprised. He kind of hasn't lived up to what I hoped he'd be as far as a versatile wing. But, I mean, I'm sure somebody in a month or two after injuries set in and stuff like that, he'll get picked up on a roster. It wouldn't surprise me. Rashad Holmes got traded to Dallas on draft day. Personally, when I heard that Sacramento did that, as far as you only moved back a couple of spots, and you dumped his contract, which I believe has 2 years left on it, this year and next year, I think personally it's a really good value, especially considering you only moved back 2 slots. And then Chamazi Metu is with the Suns. I understand he probably wanted what in his mind he believes is closer to a NBA Finals team. And obviously he's going to get more of like a minimum term deal. So I'm not necessarily surprised that he didn't get picked back up or that he chose to go to Phoenix over Sacramento. As far as additions go, Chris Duarte via trade from the Pacers. I really like this pickup for them. I like what he brings as far as that backup guard role. And this is kind of the reason that I thought Terrence Davis was just kind of a repeat. So I really do like this impact. I think he'll have impact right away, too, on this team. Then you brought in Nerlens Noel. More of a 2K god than he is actually in real life. But I do like him as far as their backup big minutes, especially behind Sabonis. I do like that option to have more of a defensive presence there. And then they did draft a couple of guys. Colby Jones, second round pick out of Xavier. It's just kind of a more seasoned guy that's, probably not the greatest upside, but I feel like he'll have a better floor. And then they also did take Jalen Lawson in the second round. Don't know much about him because I'm going to be honest, he was the end of the second round. And I wasn't fully paying attention at that point in the draft. As far as re-signees, we have Harrison Barnes came back to the team. I'm very surprised by that one. I fully expected Harrison Barnes to be gone, especially with the development of Keegan Murray. I really thought that would be the end of it for Harrison Barnes once Keegan kind of stepped into that role. But it seems like they got him on a very good, reasonable deal. So you can't trade him if need be. If you feel like maybe you're one piece away, you can use his salary as part of that trade. When also it's not a horrible salary tour in a couple of years. It won't look bad if he's sliding to the bench. Keon Ellis out of Alabama, he got his qualifying offer extended. Again, not necessarily a guy that's going to play significant minutes, but in his minutes here and there, he looked okay. Alex Len, they brought back. Really surprised with bringing in Nerlens Noel as well. I feel like that's just kind of a lot at your center minutes currently, especially for all guys that aren't really known for spacing and can't really play your 4. They also brought back Trey Lyles. I like Trey Lyles for them. He showed some stuff in the playoffs. Didn't really show much in the regular season. So I'm curious to see if he rides that momentum from the playoffs. or if he goes back to more of his regular season self. And then the big one is Domantas Sabonis. He did get an extension. May have been an overpay, may have been too many years. There's been a lot of back and forth on that. Personally, I think at this point, the salary cap is going up pretty much consistently at 10% every year. His contract won't look that bad in a couple of years, and it's still more than tradable if they decide to pivot at any point in time. But that is the Sacramento Kings offseason. Where does this put them as far as in the West? I still say that they are probably not the top tier. I don't expect them to finish as a 1 or 2 seed. I would expect them in more of the 3 to 6 range. They kind of shocked everybody last year with how well they performed. So it wouldn't be surprised if there's a slight regression. Just due to the fact there wasn't any super significant changes. Obviously, Chris Duarte is a big improvement for them, but I just don't think it's a big enough improvement to where they don't slide 2 or 3 games just based off of De'Aaron Fox was so good last year. I don't know if he'll keep it up. He may take a step back, and if he takes a step back, that's a couple of games. And in the West, 2 or 3 games moves you down 3 spots, right? It's just kind of how it works. But that is my thoughts on the Sacramento Kings. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.